This is another one of my vintage RC10s. I bought it labeled as a world's car, but it's actually a team car. It's a B-stamp chassis with which has been painted blue. It's not anodized, it appears to be painted. But I wanted to do something kind of creative with this and do a long front shock conversion. So some of the older RC10s, if you look, I think at the 89 IFMAR Worlds and the 91 Worlds, Masami ran longer front shocks on his Stealth RC10. I'm not going to try to make a Stealth RC10 here. That would be extremely difficult. But I just wanted to play around with putting longer shocks at the front and trying to see what it would take to do that. And also do a few other little aesthetic customizations here. So I got a whole bunch of parts here that I'll be playing around with. So part of the let's see, where do I want to start? So, we've got a bunch of RPM stuff, Delrin shock pivots. These go to the bottom of the shock, not to the top. So these should be, just kind of cool to have. Yellow preload clips. Most of the older associated shocks do have an adjustable clip here that you can, loosen with a screw and then move it up or down and then tighten it. But I want to add some neon yellow to this, so I got some yellow spring clips. These are actually no longer in production by RPM, so I had to find these on eBay. These were one of the last sets I was able to find. 1.02 inch stroke shocks for the front. These are the older AE shocks, non-threaded shock bodies, so consistent with the vintage theme here. Part of enabling the longer front shocks is actually replacing the RC10 nose with an RC10T nose, so you can put in the 10T bulkhead and the 10T shock tower. So I have here in anodized blue. It's a pretty similar shade of blue, so I'm quite pleased with that. This is a 10T Repro bulkhead, so it's made by eracingpro.com, and I actually found this on eBay, but I guess if you go to their website, you can also find this. I imagine they have it anodized in different colors. So this is for the 10T. And you can see the difference if I just flip this over. Part of it is the number of screws on the front for the bulkhead. Here you have 6 for the RC10 because you have a left and right suspension arm mount, each taking 3 screws. The 10T takes 4 screws for the front bulkhead. Okay, and I have a bulkhead in here somewhere with from some spare 10T parts. I won't dig that out. What's also cool about this is if you have the 10T front nose, you can fit on the RPM yellow bumper. Okay, so this is the yellow bumper for the 10T, T2, and GT. So lots of nice RPM parts here. I also found some blue anodized, I forgot what these are called, but those aluminum rods that connect the front nose to the main chassis. So I got a set of those. Got a 10T steering bell crank here. This needs to be cleaned up a little bit. RPM neon yellow ball cups. And let's see, a few other bits and bobs here. RPM neon yellow nylon nuts. Some neon yellow body clips. Lots of neon yellow going on here. And I also have Dynotech arms front and rear. So these are the front arms here, right? Yeah, these are the Klein suspension arms. Sorry, these are the fronts. And the reason why you need these arms, well, need them, I don't really think you need them. These are a slightly longer width than the standard RC10 arms, okay? Now, the reason why that's important is because the RC10T front nose, as you can see here, is a little bit narrower. And so the point where the suspension arms mount onto the bulkhead is further towards the center of the chassis. So to maintain the same width, you're going to need a longer suspension arm. So I'm going to try out these Klein front arms. Hopefully they'll compensate by just the right amount. I don't know exactly, but we will certainly find out. If not, if they're, say, a little too short, then you could compensate with a different steering knuckle here. You can get longer or shorter, I think, axles. I think longer axles for the front. With the newer steering knuckles on the newer RC10s. So And for the rear arms, since I'm using the Dynatech front white arms, I'll use Dynatech arms on the rear as well and do a whole conversion for the rear with RC10 GT rear hub carriers, which hold a 3/16 inch bearings, which supports a modern axle, so you can put modern rims on this with the longer Dynatech rear arms compared to the RC10 arms. I have a separate video on that. You can go check that out. So a couple things I want to play around with here. So I figured I'd at least document it on video just to show what are the parts that I'm using and how to do it. So later on, when I'm more progressed on this build here, I'll make another video. Thanks for watching.